Okay, next let's talk about where depression lives in your brain and what part of your brain is operating when you're feeling depressed. There's actually a bunch of parts of our brain that are involved in depression. We're going to focus on two for our purposes for the workshop. One is the hippocampus and one is the anterior cingulate. Again, I don't want you to worry too much about the names, just in case you're interested, that's what they're called. So the first part we'll talk about is the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the part of your brain that's responsible for encoding memory and storing that memory so that then when you need it, it can be retrieved. So with the hippocampus, when you're experiencing a depressed state, this is what happens. The hippocampus really likes consistency. So if this is your hippocampus and you're feeling sad, your hippocampus is going to go back into like a filing system of memories in your brain. And it's going to look for all the other times that you were feeling sad. And it's going to pull those times out and make those easier for you to access. So the sad memories, because you're feeling sad in the moment, are going to be easier for you to recall. There's the consistency there. These other memories, the ones where maybe you were feeling happy or content or surprised, those are going to stay back in the filing cabinet and are not going to be as easy for you to access. So with this first part of depression, you're feeling sad because of the evolutionary function that set it off, and then your hippocampus is working with you to help you to remember other sad times. Now the reason that it does this is not to make you more sad, but it's actually to help you to figure out how to deal with this sad time. How did you deal with it in the past? Was there something that you did to work through it that was useful for you? So it's a way of helping you to figure out how to respond so that you can use those past experiences to move forward. You could see how that could sort of backfire though, because you're feeling sad in the moment and then you're remembering past times where you were sad, and that's going to make you more sad. So that's the first part of what happens with depression in the brain. The other part, as I said, the anterior cingulate, this is the part of your brain that controls focus in the environment. So when you're feeling sad, this part of your brain is going to narrow in and focus in on only the other negative or sad content in the environment. Again, this is supposed to be a way of helping you to figure out how to respond in your environment. It's your brain trying to help you to figure out what's going on and how to respond. But as we said before, the problem with this narrow focus is that it misses that there's all this other stuff going on, and some of this stuff might be positive that could be helping you to feel better. Which, again, the workshop is going to help us to widen this out so that it's not staying so narrow if that's not necessary. So kind of putting these two pieces together. So you've got the hippocampus that's noticing the sad mood, it's going back and pulling in those sad memories with that kind of consistency. And so you're recalling more easily sad things that have happened in the past. And then in the present, you're narrowing in and focusing more on the negative content around you, which is going to also make you feel down. And then that kind of snowballs on each other. You're still feeling sad, so you're focusing on more sad things, which is making it easier to remember other sad times. And you end up in this sort of brain fog, and that's also often how people describe depression, where all you can see is the bad and the negative. And then that's where our brain can kind of get stuck because it's falling into this cycle. And then, you know, as I've said, the workshop is going to teach you how to recognize when that has happened and how to get yourself unstuck. But for now, this is sort of how to understand what's happening.